So the previous lesson, when we talked about the three branches, we were introduced to the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Today, we're going to look a little bit more deeply and more closely at the legislative branch. So we're going to look at the eligibility requirements. What are the eligibility requirements for each? Their term of office, how long they can be in office, what powers they have, what powers Congress has, and how a bill becomes a law. So take notes in your notes as I go over them with you. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the eligibility requirements of a senator. So a senator has to be a citizen for 9 years. So he could have been born in another country and then come to the United States, became a citizen, and has to be a citizen for 9 years at minimum. On the other hand, someone who is in the House of Representatives has to be a citizen for 7 years. So they only have to be a citizen for 7 years. And their age requirements. So how old does a senator have to be? Well, a senator has to be at least 30 years old if he or she wants to be part of the Senate. However, if someone is younger than that and they want to become a part of the House of Representatives, they have to be, a senator has to be, someone from the House of Representatives. What's happening here? At least 25 years old, okay? So, and the other thing that they both have in common is they both live in the states in which they represent. So in other words, someone who lives in Texas can't be a senator or a congressperson from Louisiana. So if you want to represent Pennsylvania, you have to live in Pennsylvania. All right, the next thing is, what are their term of office? How long, when they win election, how long are they in office? How long are they in power until they have to run again for re-election? A senator's term is 6 years, and a representative is just a meager 2 years. So basically, as soon as someone's elected to the House of Representatives, he or she has to start campaigning again for the next election almost immediately. So their terms are very short. So what are the powers of Congress? Congress has some very specific powers. The first power I'm going to talk about is they can establish a postal system or post offices. They also can pay government debts. So if the government owes another country money, they can put that in their budget to pay them back. Congress can also grant citizenship. So if someone applies to become a citizen, Congress has the power to grant them citizenship. And another power Congress has, which I bet you didn't realize, is that they can declare war. I bet you thought it was the president, the executive branch, but no, it's the Congress who can declare war. And finally, another one of their powers is they can raise an army and a navy. All right, so those are the powers of Congress. So since we know that the legislative branch are the ones that write the laws, we're going to figure out how a bill becomes a law. So any member of the House of Representatives or the Senate may propose a bill. So either member may propose a bill, whether you are part of the House of Representatives or in the Senate. A bill is simply a proposed law. So a bill is just a proposed law. It is not a law yet. It's just proposed. This is what they would like to make into a law. However, only representatives can propose tax laws. So I bet you didn't know that. Only a member of the House of Representatives can propose a law that has anything to do with taxes. If a majority of members in one house support the bill, then it is passed to the other house for discussion. If both the House and the Senate are in favor of a bill, then it is sent to the president to sign. So we'll put president here. Oops. If the president signs it, then the bill will become law. The president has the power to veto. So this is an important word to know. Veto. That means to reject. He can stamp a law and reject it. And if he does do that, Congress does have the power to override the president's veto, which means passing the bill into law even though the president rejected it. But in order for that to happen, then two-thirds of the members of Congress must vote in favor of it. And that is very, very rare. Does that happen, at least in recent history, as there are usually very, very close majority minorities in Congress, maybe 51 to 50. And if they vote along party lines, they're going to vote according to their party. All right, so that's the basics for the legislative branch, how a bill becomes a law, the powers of Congress, and some of the requirements and how long they may be in office. So until the next branch, I'll see you then.